Hello, everybody. How you doing? My name is Christopher Brown, and I have today Freddie Henderson and my guy Jay McLovin. Today, we're going to talk to you about the NBA Finals Game One. How you guys doing?
Yo, 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 what's up? What's up? Let's
Yeah,
get it.
I'm doing good. Other than watching the Miami Heat basically go into injury plagued syndrome. I mean, they did lost like 3/4 of their starting five, and I think Freddie said that they're sending out absentee ballots to go ahead and mail the rest of this finals in. By the way, I'm
Yeah,
your boy JJ McLovin. What's up?
my guy McLovin, Freddie up top, man. But you touched on it, injuries. What's your thoughts on that? How much of a factor did you think those early injuries played on that Miami Heat team? With Bam Adebayo, with Goran Dragic, with Jimmy Butler turning his ankle. Those are three starters and three main guys to this team.
Man, hey, watch this, man. Listen, Adebayo only played 21 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Dragic probably played even less than that. If you watch that game, the Miami Heat came out pretty fast, pretty quick, got out to a good lead. Everything was going great. And then they had some injuries, and the Lakers started showing out. And pretty soon, that second quarter lead, they went they just came back. And then they not only do they come back, but they blew them out the water. You got Adebayo out. You got Butler probably getting close to being out with those awkward landings.
Yeah.
And then you got Dragic hurt. I mean, look, you can't win a championship like that because the Lakers ain't no joke team. So I just don't know how the rest of the finals is going to play out. It really breaks my heart for Spoelstra, and it breaks my heart for all the other guys out there. But I think that if these injuries, if they're not able to come back, which I don't think they will be, at least not at 100%, and you got to be at 100% against these Lakers. 75% ain't going to get it done.
Yes. Yeah, like you touched on it, they had a first quarter lead. They were up 23-10. And then the rest of the game, they were outscored 106-75. So you can tell the big difference from the start of the game, to the injuries, to how the Lakers upped their play, and the Miami Heat team fell back. Freddie, what's your thoughts on the game, man?
I'm not gonna let Jay McLovin get away with that. He's trying to set up a narrative talking about, boy, the Heat had a big run, then they got injuries, then the Lakers made a big run. No, sir.
That's not the case. Go ahead.
The Heat did make a big run. The Lakers responded to it first. Then the Heat players started getting hurt, Jay McLovin. So let's not say the only reason why the Lakers got the lead was because of injuries, okay? I'm not going to let you create that.
Did we watch a different game? Maybe, I don't know. Which game you watch?
You might need to rewatch the game.
You watching the Yankees game?
You might
watch the Astros. I mean, which one? What were you watching? Were you catching the quick highlights? Before the show, what'd you do? Did you go on ESPN and get the box score and then kind of go off of that? I mean, what exactly were you watching?
This is my 2 minutes.
My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut in.
Yeah, you might need to go rewatch the game yourself because you was wrong on that one, my friend. But with injuries like that, you cannot win that way, in my opinion. The way the Lakers played tonight, and if it continues, I honestly might change my game from 5 to being a sweep. Honestly.
Well, that's not a hard thing to consider. I mean, hell, I think my blind, deaf, and crazy uncle could figure this game out. I mean, look, if you got that many dang injuries, it don't take no mathematician, it don't take no autistic individual. It's clear and simple. Injuries are not going to win, and especially when injuries are involving.
Give us credit.
I'm not. Hey, look, I'll give you credit. I mean, hell, man, if I had a two-legged dog and you came in there with your, stealth greyhound, how the hell is my dog going to win with 2 legs?
It is my prayer that all 3 of those players get healthy for Friday because it's going to be. It's going to be people like you not wanting to give this Laker team credit. They're all injured.
Hey, listen, man, I give credit when credit's due. And I really hope they do come back healthy because I want to see a competitive series. I don't want to just see some walkover show because then I'm going to have to tell you, Freddie, I know you got the championship, but you got on an injury asterisk. And nobody wants an asterisk next to their championship. Well, you already got one kind of because of the COVID-19. Let's not get 2 asterisks because of injuries in the finals.
That's true.
Freddie, let me say this. McLovin, when you talk about injury asterisks, then you technically by that you have to say Toronto Raptors have an asterisk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then with the COVID thing, my personal opinion, I don't think it's any asterisks because there were no fans. Every team was under the same circumstances to play the same type of basketball. The best team was going to come out victorious. You look at Miami, why they're here right now? Because they were hard and scrappy. They could play with 1,000 fans, 10,000, 100,000, no fans, no lights, and they're still going to play the same way. So I personally don't agree with the COVID narrative, but I see how some people can. But looking at this game, when you look at this Miami team, which player to you, and the key players like Bam, like Jimmy, like Goran Dragic didn't play, but there were some role players that didn't have the best game. What player to you in this Miami Heat team had the worst game, was very disappointing? Because I know who I picked.
To me,
I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead, Freddie. You're
Go
good.
ahead, Freddie. Start with you.
to me, it's Tyler Hero. He did give you 14 points, but you want to, just like Paul Pierce say, give us 20, 25 a night. He's the shooter. He's supposed to be the one to, come off the bench. Even if he started him after Dragic got hurt, he was supposed to be the one to give you buckets. There was too many. I mean, he did hit a few threes, but there was times where they needed him and he did not step up. And Duncan Robinson, no points. Well, what's up with that? We need more. We definitely need more out of him as well. My bad. They need more out of him to be able to beat this Laker team.
McLovin?
Yeah, look, when your three biggest players go down, somebody's got to step up and fill the gap. Mm-hmm. And Tyler Hero, he did all right. He did what he could. He hasn't been in the game long enough. He had one great game where he had 37 points, and everybody was all about Hero this and Hero that. And I'm like, wait a minute, look, guys, let's not get all that quick on the Hero bandwagon. But when you look at the scores, he had Olenek, he went 1 for 5. You had Iguodala who went 3 for 7, and these guys played 25 minutes. None had a pretty decent night. He went 8 for 11. Hero did terrible. He went 6 for 18. So those guys, they're shooting less than 50%. They're probably shooting around the 20s and 30%. Even though they had 18 and 14, they gave up a lot of shots. So, okay, your big three kind of stumble and bumble and go down, and then your bench is basically shooting less than 50%. You're not going to win it that way. It just is what it is. So the bench was horrible. Injuries were horrible. And that basically gives you the 18-point deficit I think they wound up with to end the game.
Now, you say that was more, Freddie, do you say that was more the Lakers' defense or Miami having a bad offensive game?
I'm going to say it's more Lakers' defense, man. This defense, it's time to give this team credit, man. Through the whole playoffs, they said they're playing against the best 8 seed in the NBA history against that Portland team. But what do? They came in there and brought their defensive presence to them. Then they said, I don't know how you're going to stop James Harden and Russell Westbrook and those three-point shooters. And what did the Lakers do? They stopped them. Then you look at the Nuggets team. They dominated on the defensive end of that series, and they're bringing their will to this series as well. So it's time to give this team credit and say that they thought it was the Clippers, but it turned out to be the Lakers, the best defensive team in the NBA this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see.
Clippers, by the way.
Now listen, damn it. Goran Dragic played 15 minutes. Adebayo played 21 minutes. Mm-hmm. Look, man, you got two out of the top 3 biggest players hurt and playing less than a half, or playing right at about a half worth of basketball. No, actually less than a half, because there's 30 minutes. Yeah, so these dudes are playing, and let's be honest, that team for the Lakers really blew it open after the halftime. In the half, they went down.
It was before half.
No, when they went to the half, they were down by 12 or 13, but they blew it open, like all the way open in the third quarter. And if you know that, Adebayo wasn't there, Dragic wasn't there.
65-48. What are you talking about in the first half?
65-40. What are you talking about? I didn't say 65-48. No, that's not what I said to you. What I said was you had Dragic, who played 15 minutes, and you had Adebayo, who played 21 minutes. So that's less than a half. So what I'm trying to tell you is they went into the half about 12 or 13 points down. That's still manageable.
Now, what he's saying is the lead at halftime, It was 65-48. The lead at halftime was 17 for LA.
So it must have been right at about and I might be off my math. I mean, what, 15 minutes, 21 minutes? That's less than a half. So
yeah, Bam out about, I think if I'm not mistaken, his injury was in the third quarter. And looking at the game, like I said, Miami was up 23-10, and then you look at it, they going into halftime, they scored 25 points, and the Lakers scored 50 plus. So, in my personal opinion, I think the Lakers.
When you're two out of the three biggest guys you got on your team, two of them played 15 and 21 minutes. I mean, I give the Lakers credit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but at the same time, you got to realize that when your two biggest players on your team are playing less than 22 minutes, I mean, it's how are you going to win with that? I mean, you better have one hell of a bench, and you got to have one hell of a bench to go up against Braun and to go up against Rondo and to go up against Davis. You want a bench to go up against these guys?
Hold on, Freddie. So my 2 cents with the injury to Bam, I think that's the most important injury by far. You missing him, and then I don't know what they're going to do. But Goran Dragic is a key guy. But with Kendrick Nunn, first team all rookie, second in rookie voting, average 15 plus the entire year. I think he would be able to step up. But in my personal opinion, without Bam, this Miami Heat team is going to struggle. What's your thoughts on that, Freddie?
Without Bam, let's call it what it is. Without Bam, there's no chance in hell.
Yes,
that they're gonna win. I mean, they may make it quasi somewhat competitive at best, and that might be a victory in and of itself for them.
Yeah.
But to say that they're gonna win that, Freddie, let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna call it like it is. If Bam doesn't play for the rest of this series, or if Bam plays on a limited role the rest of this series, or if Bam plays at 30%. The rest of this series, you can go on ahead and call it a sweep because there's no way in hell that it wouldn't be a sweep unless they can drum up some kind of magic or unless one of the Lakers' big three get hurt. It's going to be a sweep. Let's just be honest.
That is true. Without Bam, it will be a sweep. Freddie, what's your thoughts?
I just want to correct Jay McLevin. You keep saying it's the second half. This Lakers that made the big run. It wasn't the second half. It was the first half.
I guess what I was trying to say was that you had one guy who played 21 minutes, one guy who played 15 minutes, and there's 30 minutes and a half. So what I'm trying to say is they played less than a half of basketball.
Because the Lakers scored 51 points in the first half, and the Heat scored 50 in the second half. So it was about even in the second half scoring wise. But anyway, I don't blame it on injuries. I know injuries are a big deal of the game, but I still think Miami had enough depth to still get stuff done. When you have LeBron James, in my opinion, he had a fill-out game because I don't think we've seen full effect LeBron James tonight. He still gave you 25 points, 13 rebounds.
Wait a minute. Now, Chris Brown said that Bron doesn't do fill-out games. So are you telling me that Bron is doing a fill-out game? Because a killer like Michael Jordan,
McLovin,
he don't do fill-out games.
So
you're telling me that Bron does a fill-out game?
Not 2 minutes ago, sir. He gave you 25 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists.
No, but you said this is Bron's fill-out game, though. I'm holding you accountable for what you said. Is that Bron's doing a fill-out game? Let me tell you something. A killer instinct, if you want to be the GOAT, and we talked about this the other night, if you want to be the GOAT, you don't give fill-out
Hold on,
games.
Freddie. Let him talk. Now go ahead and respond to that.
No, I mean, that's what we said.
That's what we said. And Freddie was the one that said LeBron was going to have the fill-out game. I was the one that said he's going to come out and improve his dominance. And I thought he was going to have a triple-double, and he was 1 assist away from it. So my predictions was right. He came out and he did his job.
I agree with you. That's what
Freddie said he was going to have a fill-out game, and that's what he's trying to get to. I'm the one that said I don't think it's going to be a fill-out game. I think he's going to play.
I remember when you said that. That's what I'm saying. I think you're the more accurate one, and Freddie is the more delusional one. And it's okay. It's the first time Freddie's been delusional.
More talking than I have. This is my 2 minutes, okay?
Well, I'm just asking if you're dropping acid before you come on the TV show.
Hey, I'm just saying it was a fill-out game because I believe there's another notch LeBron James can take it to. What I'm saying is tonight, He gave me 25 points, but he was looking to get others involved. And why would he need to score more points tonight? Because everybody was rolling. His bench was rolling. Danny Green was rolling. ACP. Anthony Davis had his thing going. So he did exactly what he needed to do. But because I guarantee if this was game 6 and the game was tight, he would have had more than 25 points. He would have been more aggressive on the offensive end.
For you, Freddie. Freddie, do you feel like LA played a good game?
In my opinion, I do. I believe.
You think there was nothing wrong with this entire game?
Say it again.
You think that they played a very because I have a follow up to this. You think they played all 4 quarters a very good game, first half, second half.
The first 3 quarters and a half they played good. It seemed like every time the Lakers get a big lead,
but that's every team. That's every team.
Sometimes they do.
If you don't know, Freddie, that's every team.
Yeah, they still get a little sloppy.
Every team does that.
I know. I'm just saying the first 3.5 quarters. Yeah, the first 3.5 quarters. Yes, I think they played a really excellent game.
Now, here's my follow up. So I said, especially last series, in a little bit against Houston, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Heat, but this is the Los Angeles Lakers I'm talking about. They shot the ball really poorly from the 3-point line. Now, in the first half, they started off 11 for 17 when they went on their run. But do you realize the next 21 shots from the 3-point line, they only made 4? Freddie, do you think that's going to be a big factor going into the next game if they continue their shooting woes at the 3-point line? Freddie?
No, I don't, because we have other ways to beat them. You talking? Okay. Yeah, no, I don't, because I think the Lakers have other ways to beat them. We're not like Houston. We don't just settle for threes. We can get on the inside of the paint, attack the paint to still win. But if we do start missing threes, Anthony Davis is going to come up big in the middle, in the mid-range shot, because the Miami do like to do a lot of zone defense. And the only way to crack their defense is shooting threes. You have to knock them down, or you just knock down their mid-range. But I don't think that it will affect us this next game.
Okay, now McLovin, like I said, they ended off the game hitting 4 for the last 21 3-pointers. Do you think they shoot the ball if they shoot the 3-point ball bad, do you think they still have a chance to beat Miami?
I don't know if shooting the ball 3 for LA is such a big thing when you got your mid-range jumpers from Anthony Davis, or you got your down low game from basically Howard, Braun, and Anthony Davis and McGee if he comes in. No, man. Look, you're right. The Rockets kind of live and die by the 3, but they do have a slight post-up game, but it's not much because of lack of height. So, yes, they are pretty much – most of the Rockets scoring was either a 3-point or fast breaks.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it was for them. Hopefully it's going to get better. But for the Lakers got a tremendous half-court game. They're not a fast break transition unless they just get a steal or something. Typically, they're more your traditional, half-court offense. And they do struggle from the threes, but primarily their paint game. If you look at most of their points, they're all in the paint or that mid-range jumper that Anthony Davis has. Braun did do a pretty good shot game with his 3-point shots when he needed to, and Anthony Davis has made his 3-point shots when he has basically needed to. Tonight, it is what it was.
Yeah.
And as much as Freddie doesn't want to understand that, those injuries did play a significant role. Okay, they did, and it could play a significant role going forward in the playoffs. Because let me tell you something: you can't have a team, quote unquote, like these Lakers, and not come after them 100%. Look, everybody that's gone against them that hasn't had a traditional big man has walked away with 1 to 3, right? Lakers take for 4, and they get 1. And if you want to call that bronze fill-out game when they get the 1, then okay, it's bronze fill-out game when they get the 1 according to Freddie. And I'm not saying according to you, Chris. But here's the deal. If you don't have that, if they lose Adebayo, which is their post game, I'm telling you right now, Freddie, you say injuries don't matter, but they damn sure do. And if that dude goes down, I'm telling you, you can go ahead and mail in the rest of the finals.
McLovin, I have to agree with you because is there. What, Freddie? You lagging a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying, McLovin, I have to agree because the paint defense Bam Adebayo brings to Miami, he's the only good paint defender. You know, when I looked at how they guarded Anthony Davis when Bam was on and off the court, they like to switch everything because they have a lot of good defenders. At times they would throw a Jimmy Butler at him. At times they throw a Crowder or Andre Iguodala, but I don't believe they'll be able to get away with that the rest of the finals. Freddie, what do you think about that? If Bam Adebayo does say, you know, knock on wood, because I don't wish injuries on nobody. Say Bam Adebayo, Freddie doesn't play, you know, the next 2 games. Who do you think is going to have the task of guarding Anthony Davis?
Ooh, honestly, it's hard. He's going to be a smaller guy on him because Kelly Olynyk, maybe say his name is. He can't guard a snail. I don't really know who is going to be. I mean, Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder. Like Chris said, get lucky. You're going to throw a lot of double teams on him, and what that do is open up a shooter. And eventually, you give too many shooters too many shots. Eventually, they're going to start knocking them down. But I do want to say one thing that Jay McLovin keep trying to do, and this is why I hope all 3 of them players come back healthy. We're not blaming. I understand injuries are a big deal, but you have to admit this Laker team would have beat them the way they played tonight. They came out aggressive. After they started off slow, they started to be aggressive. This Laker team would have beat them. So we're not. This is why I don't like, you know.
Look at your team. You got the.
You're missing his point, Freddie. His point is that Bam Adebayo, the factor he plays, is a big reason. He know that. I'm saying, from what I'm hearing, he knows that they would have won because they completely dominated.
Watch this. Hold on. Let's just look at the Lakers team for a minute. Mm-hmm. You got Anthony Davis, who is arguably probably either the 4th or 5th all-time power forward in the league right now at a young age. Mm-hmm. You got King James, who is, King James.
Yeah.
And then you got Rondo, who has got playoff experience on the Celtics and has done pretty well everywhere else. You got some big – and we even forget about McGee. Now, McGee's got championship potential, right? He's got a ring.
Too.
And then Dwight Howard – hold on.
You said it. I got a question about Dwight, too, when you're done.
Yeah, Dwight Howard has even played in the finals. So you got quite a bit of championship experience to go along with the star-studded lineup that LA has. And you want a team whose only championship guy really is Udonis Haslem, and he's not even playing. He's on the bench. Oh, yeah, Iguodala. I pause. You got Iguodala on the – and he wasn't even a bench guy. He wasn't even like the role guy for them. So he's got about a 35-year-old Iguodala. I mean, you don't have much, right? So the one guy you have, when Adebayo goes down, you expect this team who has no post game and very little playoff experience to go up against arguably the number 4 guy in the history of the power forward and basically the number 1 guy, right? In the league right now, according to them, right? The supposed league MVP, right? Which I'm not saying he's not. And then you got Rondo, who is a star-studded point guard who's got championship titles and credentials to his name. And you want a team that's hobbled on 3 of their biggest stars, and you think that team, if they don't come back anywhere near from this injury plague that they had this game, you think that that's not a contributing factor? These Lakers absolutely should win this series. And if they don't, shame on them because somebody rigged it and they got paid to lose.
I didn't say that, Jay McLovin, at all. I understand it's a big deal to the game. I understand that.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. You talked about Dwight. Dwight has been starting now a couple of games for this Los Angeles Lakers team. What do you think his impact has been? Because, I believe starting a guy like Dwight with the experience he has, I believe, McGee is good. I think Dwight's a little bit better, what he brings on the offense and defensive end. So what do you think his impact has been, especially on this Game 1 series? This Game 1.
Who's the question?
McLovin.
So, yeah, okay. So I do think if I was starting, they're starting the right guy. They're starting Howard at the center position. You're starting a guy, like we said, who – and not that McGee's got a ring, but McGee has not played as much of a role for the Golden State Warriors like Howard did for the Orlando Magic. So I still think, even though Orlando didn't win it, he still has a lot of playoff experience under his tool belt. And that guy knows one thing that McGee – or he does one thing better than McGee, and that's trash talk. He gets into players' heads. And we saw that when he went up against the Denver Nuggets and how he got into their heads right at Game 1. So he can talk the game, but he can rebound it, defend it, and he still has a pretty decent shot or mid-range jumper. This guy is probably the best chance for them at that position, let's say, versus McGee.
What do you think about that, Freddie? What's the impact Dwight Howard has had?
I definitely agree. I mean, one thing about McGee, he's a little bit softer. You put in a big body like Dwight Howard, he knows what it takes. He knows how to be aggressive. He's a big body. You can throw at the post. You can actually just give rest to Anthony Davis while he's on the court, where he don't have to do a lot of the banging. Dwight Howard, he don't mind doing a lot of banging. I don't know too many people who want to bang. If you've seen that dude's shoulders, they're huge. Dude, a good shot blocker. He do actually, in the post, he do have a couple moves in the post to score at will. He can catch the alley-oop. He can rebound. I just think he's more aggressive. And like Jamin Levin said, he do have the finals experience, so he do know what it takes to win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest. Bron, if Adebayo doesn't come back, or even if Adebayo comes back at 30%, truthfully, Bron could just chill, put his game on cruise control, ride the pond, hang out, save some wear and tear on his body, and just let Howard and Anthony Davis and Rondo bang at it. And if you think that's not true, then you ain't been watching the series I'm watching. Because given the injuries, given the injuries that this team has, they're not going to be hard to beat. I'm saying that if there's no Adebayo, obviously, if you don't have Adebayo in there and you got a hurt ass Dragic or even Jimmy Butler, given those injuries, look, Bron ain't got to go out there and be all that. He can save some wear and tear on his tires and let the other young studs do what they got to do to win that game. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. They won by 18 because of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, did you see Anthony? Hold on, Freddie. Well, actually, go ahead. Say what you got to say. I already have a feeling, but go ahead and say what you got to say.
Chris, you want to respect this. LeBron can't chill for one reason. Because if he do chill and the people see that he's letting Anthony Davis do his thing, they're going to, how bad the media is going to attack that dude.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm hypothetical. Look, is LeBron going to chill? No, I'm not saying from that. I'm just, the point I'm trying to make is that the Lakers basically LeBron is not going to be, let's say, as detrimental to the Lakers like Adebayo was to the Heat. You take away the Heat, or you take away Adebayo, and the Heat are done. You take away LeBron James, they still got a fighting chance without. Of course, this is basically if Adebayo was hurt. So if you got a hurt Adebayo, but you got a chilled out LeBron James, the Lakers team could still beat the Heat with no issues, really.
Do you think
he's not going to do that? Obviously, he's going to play the series because he, obviously, for the intangibles of the media and things like that. I'm just saying that the man doesn't have to go out and play blood and guts all night. He can go a relaxed game and still come away smelling like a rose.
Now, Freddie, he said something interesting. Now, do you think, I know we all know LeBron's going to play, but hypothetically, say LeBron didn't play the rest of the series. Do you think this Lakers team, how they're constructed right now, could beat this Miami Heat team without LeBron?
It's tough, man, because, Anthony Davis is good. But
he's more than good, but go ahead.
Yeah, but we've never really only seen really Anthony Davis lead a team in the playoffs once, and that's when they beat the Pelicans I believe they swept the Portland Trailblazers in the playoffs. But other than that, you got to depend a lot on playoff Rondo, really. Honestly, it's tough. I don't think so because, I don't know. It's just tough. I think that we definitely need LeBron. Because LeBron is the leader of this team. When he orchestrates this team, and when he go, the team follows. So honestly, it's going to be a tough one.
All right, last two questions. With Anthony Davis playing how spectacular he did in that game one, from the paint, from the mid-range to the three-point line, would you be surprised, if he keeps up that type of play, if he wins Finals MVP?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. I was gonna say the same thing. Look, the man scored 34 points. Now he was the number one scorer on LA tonight, so he's doing all the right things. He's playing, his rebounds, assists, all that. The man's playing lights out. So yeah, absolutely. He, I would not be surprised at all if Anthony Davis got the Finals MVP. Not at all. And I don't think James is really gonna give a dang. All he cares about is winning the Finals, so his legacy looks good. So, yeah, absolutely.
do you think about that, Freddie? Would you be surprised?
I would be surprised. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if LeBron come here average another triple double for this series, like that's history right there. You know, I understand Anthony Davis putting up 30 points and 9 or 10 rebounds, but LeBron is doing everything. He's scoring, rebounding, in assisting, in playing defense. I mean, like I said, he's being that dude. I mean, if he can do that, like I'm not for sure what it is on history, but I'm pretty sure he averaged a triple double in the finals before. But if he do it again at age 35, at year 17, and playing for the Lakers, man, that's just gonna be history right there, in my opinion.
Well, I will say this: Anthony Davis put up 44, 9, and 5 and 3 blocks. If he averages about 30 plus rebounds, 30 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, a couple of assists, and 3 blocks, then he's making a very strong. I understand LeBron, and he's going to come out. He's going to have better games. You say it's the fill-out game. I think he did what he had to do, but at the end of the day, he came out and he did his thing. AD came out and did his thing. His Lakers came out and did their thing. So with that being said, Game 2 Friday. Healthy Bam Adebayo, let's see. Healthy Jimmy, healthy Gordon. Say they're all healthy. What's your predictions on the game, Jay McLovin?
Yeah, you talking about the next game if we play?
Yeah,
if Adebayo, I think I've already kind of answered that about 10 times now. I think if Adebayo's not there, you can screw it over. And let me say one thing: even though Braun had almost a triple double, you got to remember this. Anthony Davis scored 34 points to LeBron 25 or 28. So, and he had basically 9 rebounds. He almost had a triple. He had 5 assists. So what he made up, or what he did at points, made up for what he may not have gotten all the way in the assists. I mean, these guys, I guess what I'm coming to is tonight, if you look at all their stats, these guys are about even 50-50 between Ron and Davis. So nobody really made the clear cut, yes, you're going to be the finals. So really games 2, 3, and 4 and how they play will determine the finals MVP. But both those guys are playing lights out, no doubt. And if Adebayo's not there, or if Adebayo's 30%, or if Dragic and Adebayo are not there, like I said, you can phone in the finals win with an asterisk.
Freddie, what's your thoughts? Game 2.
It's not an asterisk.
It's an asterisk with a capital A.
But what I've seen is, healthy or not, I've seen that this Laker team has its own mission. I looked in LeBron James and Anthony Davis' eyes. I said, man, these dudes have a look in their eyes of their own mission. So as of right now, I'm predicting a sweep.
Yeah,
like
that was a hard prediction to make. What did you do? Take your magic 8 ball and
like to see you switch up your predictions after one game, Freddie. It's just like the delusional fan you are, but it was a very good game 1.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not expect them to come out looking the way they did. I seen their eyes, the way they was looking at like they wanted it, and I said, "Oh yeah, they on a mission. They are on a mission."
Let me tell you how Freddie makes his predictions. He takes that 8 ball and he shakes it. And he goes, will the Lakers, if there's no Adebayo, win the finals? It is decidedly so.
Oh man, but yeah.
Hey, Freddie, man, you're not. I mean, come on, man. You know they're just gonna win it. If they don't have Adebayo, it's game over.
Yeah, without a doubt, I don't think that's any argument. I don't think anybody can make an argument that without Bam Adebayo's Heat team, has a chance. But let's look forward to game 2. We hope they're healthy because I want to see good basketball.
Me too, man. And that's what really angers me is with these injuries. It's not okay. Now you just took all the fun out of this series because now it's not even competitive. It's just like watching the Golden State Warriors go at it when they're at the height of their success. You knew damn good and well the Warriors were going to win it. It wasn't even funny to watch the East Coast try to come in there and do something.
Yes, sad. We hope those guys are healthy, but we're looking forward to game 2 on Friday. Another post-game show. Freddie's going to be the delusional guy he is. McLovin and I are going to bring the knowledge, and the smarts to the show. But that's a wrap for this one. Freddie, you have anything else to say?
Just want to let everybody know, do not let Jay McLovin fool you. There will not be an asterisk to this championship because guess what? Everybody signed up for the same thing for COVID. And guess what? Injuries are part of the game. Nobody put an asterisk on the team last year.
They did. I will say this. Freddie, just to say, now I might have to agree with you because a lot of guys in the media didn't.
Yeah, no.
But Some did. So it's a back and forth. But go ahead, finish.
Yeah, like Stephen A. Smith and stuff like that. But other than that, everybody keep, when they say Kawhi Leonard, he's a 3-time champion, they don't mention, but wait, if it was LeBron James, it's a different story, though. But if it's the Lakers, it's a different story. I definitely understand that, though. Hey,
That's
check.
why LeBron is greater than Kawhi. That's why, he's better than Kawhi. But go ahead, Freddie.
Yeah, but check us all out tomorrow night. It is All Sports All Plays, Real Talk, 8 p.m. Central. We're going to bring the heat to you once again.
McLovin?
I would just like for the fans that watch this podcast, if you could please put in the comments the likelihood between 1 and 10, 10 being no chance at all, and 10 being hell yeah. My opportunities to date Freddie Henderson's mom, Sheila.
Yeah, let's send it off on that one, man. Great show, man. Looking forward to tomorrow. I know McLovin's bringing the heat, and looking forward to Friday. Looking forward to LA getting another victory, man. But great show, guys. Everybody watching, thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Peace.